Have I now become your enemy because I tell you the truth? No, your real enemy is somebody that knows the truth, but they're afraid to tell you.
Hello?
Hey, are you at lunch?
No, I'm off today.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that works out. Yeah, I just calling to tell you I went to Texas to see the boys, and that didn't go well at all.
Oh. That's not what I wanted to hear.
No, but no, the first day we showed up, and I mean, if you got a couple minutes, I'll tell you. But first day we showed up, and I surprised her. Her mouth was wide open. She ran in the house, locked the door, and then basically Elijah came out, and I apologized to him, talked to him, gave him hugs, and he was fine. And we talked for a little while, and then she said come back at 4:30 and see Ethan when he got off the bus. So I did that. And then I was hoping to, take them to lunch or breakfast the following day. And I told them, we talked for probably an hour and a half in the yard. She just left me in the yard. But
what's her place like? I wonder. I haven't been down. I haven't.
Well,
let me 2 years.
Let me get this out, and then I'll tell you the rest of that. But and then the next day I came, and they were all three standing outside waiting for me. And basically, I asked the boys, I said, you guys want to go to breakfast? And she kind of took over the conversation and said, well, the way it's been the last year is the way it's going to be this next year. And, we don't want to give you any false hopes of, and that's what she said. And then she kind of, didn't finish her sentence. And I said, well, you do realize I'm their dad, and we still, have a custody plan where I'm 50-50, and we've never altered that. No matter what you say or do, I'm still their dad. I never abandoned them. And I forgot I sent, the day I left, I gave her a letter stating, that I wanted to have the boys in 3 months, and I was giving her $3,000 when I left for the 3 months I wasn't there. And she never followed through with contacting me again after I left. And then she had left. I mean, the story, but she had left and then left Elijah with grandparents. And he's definitely a little bit different now.
Yeah.
But he did kind of open up a little bit. Got smiles out of him and hugs.
Oh, good.
So I think, we're past that. But the next day, obviously, she had talked to them. And
she
then
put a whammy on it.
Yeah, and then she just didn't want. I don't know. She just didn't want me talking to him, I guess. But her house, she's got 2 cars.
Evil smile afterwards.
Yeah, she gave me the evil smile after the boys went and talked to me.
I know the one.
But anyway, her house, she got 2 cars. The second car she's got, not the Honda, is just full of crap. It looks like a hoarder's car. And then when I peeked in their house, I mean, it was just like piled up in the living room, just crap. And then I found videos of them at church, and then her singing, and she still had the mat with the clip in it singing at church. And I'm just like, how do you...
She's a wackadoodle, Tony. She's just a wackadoodle.
Yeah.
All you need is a psychological evaluation, and that would show that. That's just how it is.
I think the way things are now, though, I've been putting videos together. I put about 5 and 8, 13 videos of me and the boys and just stuff, throughout the years, and put them to music and sent them to Elijah and Ethan, and they've been watching them. He did say he does read my letters, and he watches everything.
Good.
I sent him a bunch of money when he left Washington, so he would have enough money to get to Texas. I gave him like $2,000 to $3,000.
Oh, Tony, that
And then,
Huge. Just, words, just go by your loving, kind actions and be consistent and just don't give up.
no, I know.
That's
and
what's going
that's,
to penetrate.
and that's what I put a couple of letters together and I read them to him. I made a video so that way she can't take them if I send them.
She can't. Yep.
And
She
then-
can't intercept that.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing was, I don't know if you knew, I bought Ethan a phone and I sent it down there, and just a flip phone so he could have it.
Yeah.
And she had Ethan sell it at school.
Weird.
And but then with the money I gave Elijah, the last $1,000 I gave him, I said split it up between you and Ethan. So with that $500, I think he bought an iPhone. So they both have phones.
Good.
So I don't know. I got about another year till Ethan is 18. It's like 12, 14 months. So I don't know. After he turns 18, I'm going to be down there. And I thought about buying just a cheap property. They have $1,200 to $5,000 lots down there.
Yeah.
And maybe just
Yeah.
put an RV down there. And
Just be.
me and Amy talked about that. And then, I don't know that. I mean, Ethan, I can't believe how smart that kid is. I don't know if I told you, but he's in debate and he's doing great there, and they
I
travel.
believe it.
And then he's in history and he's got awards for history class. So he's got I guess great grades, and it just tripped me out. He has a super deep voice, super tall. And I don't know.
Wow.
It was kind of weird, but
I can only imagine.
yeah. And then, Elijah, none of them looked like they bathed their hair, so I don't know. They had they had somebody from the church come fix the sewer, but I don't know. Elijah said their water is brown, and they have to, buy drinking water, and so I don't.
See, that's not right.
Yeah. So, I looked it up online, and what she has done, and I was right, she's committed about 3 felonies. And actually, if I wanted to pursue it, which I'm not gonna, because I would turn the boys against me if I did that.
Yeah.
But basically taking the boys, that's one, it's kidnapping. I don't know what they call it, but then she took them out of state. There's a second felony, and the third one is taking them without altering parental, without notifying the courts.
And I don't think she knew some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because she's that backwards.
Yeah.
The
other thing.
It.
Yeah. The other thing I found out, I'm kind of talking over you. I'm sorry. I just.
No, do it.
The other thing I found out, it's what she's doing is called parental alienation, where she's bad mouthing me to the boys to the point that, they don't want nothing to do with me, or
it's like emotional poison.
Yeah, and I don't think you and Randy ever, you guys never did that.
No, absolutely not. And that was one of the things that the judge said. Absolutely do not, because if you think it just harms the kid in the big picture.
Yeah, and that's what I had found out too by watching a couple lawyers, is basically you're damaging the child psychologically by, it's a red flag if one parent doesn't want the other parent to see them, if there's no abuse, no sexual abuse, no, just because we split up,
just out of pure spite.
Yeah.
And craziness.
Yeah.
She's in her mind, it's justified. She's not a reasonable, moral, psychological person.
Don't do that. I got the cat scratching on the carpet. I think the only thing she justifies is that she thought initially, she thought she should get child support and alimony. Initially, she didn't, because she was just going to rent the place. I was going to pay her half of the equity. And then she said, well, Cliff says I don't have to pay rent because I'm on the deed. And I said, I know, that's why I'm paying you half the equity. But then she got to talking to her crazy friend, Jeannie, Jeannie or whatever her name is. And she's like, no, he's supposed to be paying child support and alimony. But at the time, we were both, I mean, my work wasn't really that busy. And she was working cleaning houses. So we were actually making about the same amount of money. And, since then, I've obviously done better. But so the judge, said neither one of us have to pay child support as long as we're both working and supporting the boys equally, 50-50.
Yeah.
But when I talked to your mom, which, after I got back from Texas, I called there and talked to Cliff and talked to your mom. She said, well, you just left, you just abandoned the boys. And I think the story she gave them is not what actually happened. So I guess the reason I was calling you, I was just, you said I needed to go see Elijah, and I saw him.
I'm glad. That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Just keep on keeping on, because he's going to need you. The more unraveled she becomes as she gets older,
yeah,
the more it's nice to know at least you have one parent that's in the upright position.
Yeah.
And having a relationship and building that, you will never regret it.
Well, I told him when I was there, I was like, you can come. And right now, I mean, since I made the company here in South Dakota, his name has been on the company. He's an owner. So, and when he worked with me before, he did great. And I just told him, you come and I'll just give you like $1,000 a house. It'd take, one house a week. And right now I've got about 10 houses lined up for spring and summer. And his eyes lit up. He's like, oh, okay.
I bet you he does it.
But then on day 2, when I went back, it was just like 2 different kids. It's like
she's got a power thing. She's scary. She scares me when she gets in her little snippy snot.
Well, she's got to be right.
Mood.
It's weird because until you say you agree with her, she'll keep at it every angle. And it just trips me out. I'm just like, well, I guess I don't want to do that.
Learned you don't argue with crazy.
Yeah.
Because there's no win.
Yeah.
So talking to her, that's why I have no relationship. It makes me sad, but I don't know who she is.
Yeah, and that's the sad part. Cliff, I asked him if she had called them since she's been down there, and he's like, no, I haven't heard from her since she moved. And that's just weird to me, seeing how he put the money up for the house.
Well, he basically wanted to, out.
Yeah, and that's what
she was tormenting my mother. She hurt my mom. It's taken her a long time to be undone. She hurt her, like, what would I say, elder abuse?
Yeah.
She was emotionally, she took all their furniture out. She took down to the silverware, the bowls, everything. They went away on their little boat trip for the summer. They came back. Their house was unrecognizable. And then to get her to bring their stuff back, my mom, it was terrible. And my mom's too old. She doesn't have that push or that bitch factor you pull out and set someone straight.
Well, I know your mom
doesn't have that anymore. So Nicole just ran right over top of her.
Yeah, your mama was always super nice to me, And Cliff, I think I feared Cliff the most because he was silent.
Yeah.
He just was quiet, and I'm like, I do all the talking, and I get more nervous, and then
talk more, yeah.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, where did she take the stuff down to the basement, or?
Yeah.
Wow. And then
she took even the drapes and put like polyester sheer ones that you get at the Goodwill instead of the expensive custom ones that she had made, and then she washed them and shrunk them so that even when Mom did put them back, they were all shortened up. It was weird. It was like the whole thing was a nightmare.
Yeah. I don't know. I just
I don't know how she maintains. I don't know how she pays any.
Well, and that's what
water, food or gas, or I don't know what she does for her hustle.
Well, I think what Elijah told me was that Jeannie, her friend, who now is in Oklahoma, they went through that tornado in Washington. They lost their house. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
They lived behind Walmart there. But she ended up in Oklahoma, and I guess they're the ones that helped them find that house. I don't know. It just wasn't good enough for me. I wouldn't live there.
I could only imagine what you can get for $50,000 in the middle of the desert in Texas. I can only imagine.
You know what's crazy is, yeah, she paid that, and then my mother-in-law bought this one for $45,000. I obviously paid her back since, once we sold the other house, but this one's like 5,200 square feet, and it's 1909. Just a beautiful house. I think I sent you pictures. Ethan says he really loves the school, and he's doing great.
Huge.
Yeah, he's doing great. School's about a mile away, and I think that her friends have helped her, I don't mean to use the term, but get a SSI check.
For what? For mentally unstable?
Maybe. I mean, that would be...
I don't think that could ever come out of her mouth, because that would mean... Like,
well, how is she living then?
I don't know, because for her to say, she'd turn it around like, do you think I'm lying? And of course, the passion of how she says it. So that means you can't say that anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how she could utter that and go against her being honest, God-fearing.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. I mean, you go to church every Sunday, but yet you hold your father's kids away from them for not doing anything. It's not like I was drunk and I beat them, and I know that. It's astounding to me. But yeah, I mean, I went through screaming matches with her, and I'm like, the kids are here. You say you have worms, you say you have this and that. We've been to many doctors, and we've been to, your mom took her over to Eastern Washington to get like a naturopath, and that was kind of the final straw when she came back with hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of baggy, I don't know what the hell it was, but, to deworm her. And then she's like, I was like, well, this'll, it'll be over then. And she's like, well, no, it'll never be over. And I'm just like, at that point, I'm like, okay, this ain't really.
Jigs up.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was crazy, but she still had the mat in her hair, and I don't get it. I know the boys unconditionally love her, but
I know Elijah's sort of embarrassed, though. He's got to be. Yeah. I think he rides the line of normal and then that. And it's like, how do you, what if he got a girlfriend someday? Oh,
well, and that's the
my
thing.
Mom, how is he going to, I don't know.
Explain it. I get it. Because, because before, I mean, when he was younger, he was embarrassed sometimes, and me and the boys were the ones that always went out to eat, and she just never, she wouldn't ride in the car with me.
I miss having a sister that I like, that I love, that's got my back, and you know what I mean? She's my buddy when we were good, but I can't, it's weird. I feel like I'm a little orphan here without, it's weird. Yeah. My folks are getting, my mom's, everybody's doing their thing. I don't know.
How are they doing health-wise? They okay, or? Yeah,
they seem to be still walking their 2 miles every day, and I can tell a difference in my mom more than I can Papa. Yeah. But his is, he's got COPD, so sometimes he has a hard time. But overall, they're doing just fine. They didn't take their boat to Alaska this year. That was, but he just didn't think that they should, so they didn't. But
and that's another thing that when I bought Cliff's property up there on Wilson Creek and we built that house. Yeah. He bought that boat with that money, and she would always throw it in my face. Why can't you just be more like Cliff, and why can't you, just do better? I mean, what kind of husband or man wants to hear, why can't you be more like my stepdad?
You got to let that part go. She crazy, okay? She can't, she doesn't have the normal thought process. Yeah. So your value is not defined by someone that is crazy.
I know. It
so
just,
whatever that was just hurtful and not right in the head. So.
But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I did finally go down.
Interesting. I didn't know any of this. I didn't know how she was rolling. I didn't know what it looks like. I don't know. So your little insight is helpful.
Yeah, and honestly, from here, it's only about 12 to 14 hours. So we'll be going down again, I think, right before I start up work again in spring.
Good.
April, May.
Normal over movie.
Well, and like I told him, I'm like, I'm not, and I told her, the last thing I said to her was, you're sheltering the boys, and what do you think's going to happen when you die or I die? They're going to have nobody at the rate you're going. I said they need to have their sisters and.
Yeah, and they have to have living coping skills that weren't, I think she does that so that they don't leave.
Right. And it's kind of crazy, so.
Yeah.
All right, I got to get.
All right, I'll let you go.
And if, I'm going to probably send you a couple links to the videos I made. They're kind of cute, so.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Tony.
Yep, take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Mommy want to see.
Who's that?
Yes.
Close that door, boy.